Welcome to DJM TV.
Analysis on the reason why Peter Obi and Labour Party no tender Part C agent copies.
Correct people, we greet you now. Welcome una to DJM TV on our WhatsApp channel. Where the summer on with ogbonge updates, breaking news, updated updates. So I beg my people, if you never subscribe to our YouTube channel, make una rush now, make una go subscribe, and also turn on that notification bell so that anytime we like say we drop any update like this, una go dey notified banga. Our Facebook page, my people, make una follow us and make una dey like. Una do well. Anyway, my people, make we quickly run enter the tori and update we will carry come for una like this.
Yes, so my people, tribunal updates now we carry come like this for now. Una know say as this matter dey go since they find different ways to take make sure say Labour Party and Peter Obi no win for this tribunal matter wey dey on say so. So they can't even draw the issue of agents. Say most of their polling units say they no get agents and they no fit say they win for such units. So the matter don dey long one kind. So they come begin dey bring out the matter say Labour Party no get enough polling agent for polling units for different local government dem. Right now my people, I go play una one video now make una lis ten this update and analysis wetin make dem no tender their agent copies for tribunal. Make people make una watch.
Some people are genuinely worried about the fact that Labour Party did not tender their own copy of Form EC8As used in conducting the presidential election, that it might hurt their case seriously. Some also go to the extent of saying that they don't have it, that's why they didn't tender them as evidence. Why will someone not tender something that will prove his case? Also, INEC made this kind of defense that Labour Party did not have polling unit agents in all the polling units across the country. While these are genuine concerns, you already know the probate value of political party agent copies in election disputes. We've explained that in many videos. When you present INEC CTCs of Form EC8As that were used to conduct the election, the results of the election INEC themselves made, then there can't be any room for technicality. No one or a judge can say that you couldn't prove your case. This was evident during the pre-hearing of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. All parties agreed with the court that they will not question or object INEC CTCs or other CTCs for that matter. So you can see the priority and the importance of INEC CTCs when it comes to election dispute. Never mind that the respondents later reneged on their promise not to object to INEC CTCs being admitted in court as evidence. We will hear their reasons in the final address. After seeing the importance of INEC CTCs, you can now understand the strategy of the Labour Party legal team. They have tendered INEC hard copies that INEC claimed to have used to manually collate the results since they didn't upload on iRev, that they had to rely on manual collation. So the forms EC8As that INEC relied on to manually collate the results of the elections were tendered in court, although not complete. Yes, the Labour Party legal team knew in advance that there was a high chance that INEC may not comply, that they may not give them all the hard copies that they require, even under subpoena. That was why they included iRev copies too, because according to the law, the copies must be uploaded to iRev immediately after vote counting. So in the eyes of the law, they are the same thing. After all, they are just copies of the hard copies, so they are the same. At this stage, one can comfortably say that they submitted all the results that INEC used in conducting the election. But there's still one problem remaining. That problem is the more than 18,000 polling unit results that are blurred on iRev. Does INEC have the hard copies of these missing results on iRev? INEC might claim to have them. After all, they claim to have done manual collation, that they didn't rely on iRev. But the fact still remains that the evidence is not before the court. And the court cannot work with documents that are not before them. They will only rely on documents tendered before the court. Now, how will this affect the petition of the Labour Party? Because the documents are obviously not complete. If the court relies on few results to make their decision, will that not result in massive disenfranchisement? Let's assume that 25 million people voted during the presidential election, and going by the evidence before the court, about 15 million votes are covered because of the blurred result sheets on iRev. So what will happen in this situation? How will the court decide? This is very important because if they can't determine a winner with the few results in their possession, that means the judgment is only headed in one direction: cancellation of the results. That's why it's trending. Despite this seemingly hopeless situation, the Labour Party legal team actually covered this kind of situation by tendering their own results. Yes, they didn't tender them in hard copies. They tendered them in a tabulated and calculated form, which was done by their expert witness in their control room during the presidential election. So as you can see, there are 3 different batches of evidence before the court: the INEC hard copies certified by INEC, the IREV copies certified by INEC, and the tabulated results from Labour Party, which they collated in their situation room from result sheets that their party agents sent to them on election day. So what does this mean? It means that all the results that INEC refused to give Labour Party under subpoena are represented in the statement of the expert witness that Labour Party called. In other words, the judges can make comparison with the ones that Labour Party submitted against the INEC CTCs to see that they are correct. So the missing ones, they will take them from that of the Labour Party to compensate the others. The court must work with evidence before them. The respondents, INEC, Tinubu, or APC, cannot come back and say, no, this is not correct. We want to add, no, that time has passed. The ship has sailed. They can't even do it at the appellate court, which in this case is the Supreme Court. So whatever is in front of the judges is what they will use to calculate the results. And since the judges have promised that they must look at every case based on their merit, not based on technicality, they must look at all the results and determine a winner. Cancellation can never be an option, not just because of Peter Obi and the Labour Party, but because of Nigeria as a country. Nigerians are simply not ready for another election because of the past experience. Many people are still traumatized by what they saw during the election. Politicians took the election as a war. Upon that, people resisted and voted and made sure their vote counted, but unfortunately, INEC did the wrong thing. They refused to upload the results and they announced predetermined rigged results. So cancelling the election is not a viable option. If they cancel the election, that means they will be empowering election riggers to go and do more, to go and perfect what they couldn't perfect in the last election. It's like telling them, hey, you made a lot of mistakes, go and do it better this time. That's not how to reward an election rigger. We are not even talking about the money involved in conducting another election. Why will taxpayers pay billions of naira for another election when a winner can be determined from the last one? Since INEC refused to tender the hard copies that represent the blood ones on IREV, the court should rely on the copies and the tabulated results submitted by the Labour Party to determine them. After all, the ones INEC submitted are the same with the ones Labour Party submitted. So they should just use them as replacement and recalculate the whole results to determine a winner. The defendants relied on the fact that he who alleges should prove. But in this case, they have proven their case. INEC refused to submit something to counter their evidence. So they can't hold the country to ransom. They can't hold the court to ransom. They want to tie the hands of the court not to do the right thing. But the court must do the right thing and make sure they find a winner. Because if the court allows them, that means their premeditated election rigging must have succeeded. Yes, it's very simple. Rig the election, swear me in, I'll go to court, INEC will refuse to present evidence and even refuse subpoena. And the court will have no option and say, the petitioners couldn't prove their case. No. The evidence is there in court. Let the court look at the evidence and determine a winner.
Yeah, so my people, and the update will carry come from now like this be this. So from Ned Media, the analysis so far on this tribunal matter. Anyway, my people, can drop a comment and send a reason and make no forget to like and share. Make una share this video for us. Now do we see you in the next video. DJ